All right, guys, what is up? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And as of the time of this recording, it is 2:30 a.m. in the morning, slightly beyond 2:30, actually. It's 2:33 a.m. And quite frankly, this is actually the last day when the devs go into work before they go on to break. So it still is very possible that we might get one final update from Mark Rubin about XDefiant and what their plans are starting with the new year. But there's also a chance that we're not going to get an update at all. If anything, Mark Rubin just might say, hey, you guys be safe. I'm going to take a break from social media. I hope you and your families have a great holiday, blah, blah, blah. And so since we're not exactly 100% sure, because none of us can predict the future, even though we're kind of going to attempt to do that in this video, we are going to, together, myself and you guys, the listener, viewer, watcher, and of course, the people that are kind enough to comment in the comment section below, we are going to respectfully and realistically try to predict XDefiant's release. Now, we know at this point that, most of us can predict at this point that the game is going to come out sometime in January or at the very latest, early February, like we're talking like within the first week or so. So let's get right into it. Now, what do we know about video game releases? Number one, we know they either come out on a Tuesday or a Friday. And we also know that they have to have a submission one more time before the game gets a green light for release. Now, depending on how that submission goes, it could either take a week or 2 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks at the very latest, at the very most, right? So I think when they come back from vacation, which is going to be the 1st of January, I think come that Friday, which is the 5th of January, I think they're going to release their final play session, right? Their final beta or whatever it is, right? And because it's been mentioned that that was the plan already. And they also mentioned that it was going to be for over a weekend. So we're not just going to have 6 hours to play. We're going to have an entire weekend to play it. And at the same time, the Linux servers get tested, right? Because they switched over the servers over onto Linux. And hopefully by now, they've pretty much squashed that final bug that they were talking about that they were going to squash. So I predict that the final play session is going to take place at the earliest on Friday the 5th, starting on Friday the 5th and ending either on Sunday the 7th or early Monday morning on the 8th. Now, as far as release date is concerned, again, as I mentioned, they have to submit. Right? They have to send a submission. So let's say they send a submission right away if the beta went smoothly or if this last play session went smoothly, right? Then they're probably going to submit right away. So let's say Monday the 8th, they send their submission, right? Let's say they send the submission on Tuesday. Let's be optimistic that they send it the next day since the beta ends on Monday, right? Okay, let's say they send it on Tuesday. That's the 9th. So we're looking a minimum of 1 week for the submission to get green lighted to a maximum of 4 weeks. So we're looking at it's either going to get released on the week of the 9th, which is the submission is going to start out at the 9th. So we're looking, if they get greenlit and they decide a week later that they're good enough to go, then the game will release at the earliest of the 16th. But if they decide to release on a Friday for whatever reason, it's going to be the 19th. But if it takes longer, it's either going to be the 23rd, which is a Tuesday, of course, or a Friday of the 26th. And then 3 weeks in, we're looking at Tuesday the 30th, and then February of the 2nd of February. And then, of course, the very final week of submission to get greenlit or whatnot, if it takes that long, will be Tuesday the 6th of February, or at the very latest, the 9th of February. So we're looking at a possible release of anywhere from the 16th of January to the 6th of February. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. To the 9th of February. So, because you got to take Fridays into account as well, since games release on those days as well. So you're looking at the earliest release date on the 16th of January and the latest release date of Friday, February 2nd. So that's basically our clock at this point. So we are at the 15th of December right now. So we're looking at a solid month before release, 4 weeks, which isn't very long. And at the most, we are looking at, let's see, this will be a month. And we're looking at just under 2 months at the very latest from now. Now, I know to a lot of people that sounds like a long time. And yeah, sure, you can perceive it that way and you wouldn't be wrong. However, when you're looking at how long it's been since we've had the beta, the last beta, which was either in June or July or something like that, it's been a lot longer than that. So we also will have played the final beta or whatnot. And we're actually going to get a very good taste of what the game is like before the game gets released. Now, remember, because of all this delay, I don't think that the game is going to release at the latest in Friday, the 9th of February, actually. I don't. Because all of this time that they've been putting into the game, now, I'm not a fly on the wall in the development team, but I will say because of all this time that they've spent trying to squash as many bugs as possible and make sure everything is smooth and change their servers over to Linux and make sure the game operates as smooth as possible, as it should be, then I am very optimistic when I say that the game, I think, will release 16th at the earliest to the 23rd. So either the 16th or the 19th of January or the 23rd through the 26th. That is my prediction. Those are my 4 days. Those are my 4 slots that I'm filling in. So 16th or 19th of that week or the 23rd or the 26th of the following week. So in my prediction, I'm thinking a month to 5 weeks from now, 5.5 weeks. Okay. So that is my solid prediction. If things go as smooth as possible and if the submission process goes as smooth as possible and all the data they get back from the final play session goes as smooth as possible, yeah, that is my solid prediction. And if it comes out on the 16th, I will be obviously ecstatic. If it were to come out even sooner, I would be shocked, but in a good way, of course, because all of us want to get our hands on the game. And I think some people are expecting it to come out like within the first week or two of January. But again, remember, the 16th is the absolute earliest. It still is possible that the game might release on the 19th on a Friday for whatever reason. But again, because of all this time that they've put into the game, I'm expecting everything to go as smooth as possible because these guys have not taken shortcuts. And I don't think are any more stoppages that are to be had. So now at this point, all we do is kind of patiently wait as far as today's concerned to see if Mark Rubin updates us once more before the holidays, if at all. Or if not, then we simply wait for Friday the 5th for the play session. Now, if the play session does not happen on the 5th of Friday and it happens later, then chances are that we can possibly extend the release by a week later of what I just said. But honestly, I don't think that's going to happen, though. And I know I'm being optimistic when I say that, but I don't think that's going to happen because these guys have been putting in so much time into everything and to make sure that they're ready for that play session, which they don't need permission in order to do. So there's no reason to really stop them. And they want to release. These guys want to release pretty much as we do. And man, that could easily sound so wrong. But you guys get the deal. They want to get the wheels turning. They've been preparing for such a long time to do so. And the only thing that's stopping them from getting that play session to us even sooner is the holiday. Other than that, I'm pretty sure we'd be getting it by now. So with that being said, we've got a month to 5.5 weeks until the game releases. That is my official prediction. And I think that's when the game's going to come out. So January is going to be a hell of a month. I know a lot of people are going to be, back in school. They're going to be kind of recovering from the holidays and all that kind of stuff, or whatever the deal is. Some of us that are not in school, of course, are going to be going on vacation, blah, blah, blah. So it really is nice to, as you get back into the groove of things, at the same time, on a Tuesday or a Friday, depending on when the game releases, you will have something to look forward to, something new, something fresh, and something that you might have forgotten about, but then remembered again once you saw the game released. And hopefully you'll try it again, and hopefully you like it. and that's it. And if you don't, that's cool too. There's always other games to play. But for those of us that remain optimistic, whether our hype has died down a little bit or whether our hype continues to be high, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, whatever we got, whether it's low hype or high hype, we're going to work with that. We're going to work with it and we're going to make the most of it. But anyway, that's my prediction for XDefiant. And I want you guys to tell me down in the comment section what you guys think in terms of prediction. Now, I know all of us want it to come out as soon as possible, but this was kind of a realistic, I'm trying to keep this as realistic as possible while taking my, my excitement out of the equation. But yeah, that's my prediction, guys. And I want to know down in the comment section your prediction and anything else that I might have missed or something else to take into account. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.